Welcome to another edition of Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I'll follow you back. Jumping on here tonight, thought I would just talk with some of the listeners and kind of see who's up. It's one of those. I'm sure everybody's you're out here being quarantined and whatnot, and just getting out here and just being able to talk a little football and just kind of pass the day away a little bit or pass the night away. I know it's really late where you guys are, but I thought I would jump on here for a few minutes and just see what anybody's up to. Uh, yeah, it's been pretty uneventful here. For me, we're just really getting closer to the draft, and I've seen a lot of you guys posting different. Everybody's posting their mock drafts, and it's really interesting to see the different takes that everybody's having. So I think it's kind of cool to just kind of talk about that and just kind of put some stuff out here. So let's see. And yeah, give me a second here. I'm actually gonna bring my screen up, and I need to get the chat to pop out here. And oh yeah, we got people in here. Eric, what's going on? Hey, I saw Eric. Hey, Antoine Cates, what's going on? Eric Marino, what's going on, man? What happened to your Twitter, man? Somebody's roasting you really bad. Um, I saw that. I saw all the negative stuff that they put on there. Have you reported that, or have you locked that down or changed your password or anything? Because that's just not a good look. But just on here tonight. And Antoine, what are you thinking about the draft, man? Who's your guy? Who would you like to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers draft at that number 14 position, or would you like to see them move down and do something else? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on that. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, Eric. If you can follow me back, and I'll follow you. Just let me know what's going on. With your Twitter account. But I knew that wasn't you. I knew that wasn't you that was saying all those nasty things. So I'm sorry that happened to you, and hopefully you can get that all worked out. I hope. But anyway, just kind of getting back to football a little bit. you know, uh, for me, it's really starting to sink in more and more that Tom Brady is the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. So just getting used to that, and just getting used to saying Tom Brady is the starting quarterback is gonna be a fun year. If we can say that, with everything that's going down right now, with everybody, hopefully, and everybody's being safe. I feel like we need to go with a safety. And Antoine, what do you think of the secondary right now that the Bucks have? How are you feeling about those guys right now? Just hit me, Frank G. What's going on? Will the Brewer, what's going on? South side of Chicago. How are you guys staying safe there? Let me know. But yeah, the secondary is going to be very, very important. If you look at the schedule the Buccaneers have, and the teams that they're going up against, and then you got to face Drew Brees twice a year and Matt Ryan with the revamped offense that they have. You got to face them twice a year, and again, you've got Christian McCaffrey and the Carolina Panthers. You got to face them as well. So it's going to be really interesting. And I know I keep saying that, but will the Bucks? What we've seen over the past 3 years is the Bucks start out slow and then they finish strong on the back end of the season. Is that something? I'm just thinking. Is that something we're going to see, or are we going to see this defense pick up where they left off last year and continue on playing strong throughout the season? And another thing to consider too are the injuries. You've got players that will be coming back from injury, like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, Scotty Miller, and there are others. So how are they gonna handle this durability wise, this long season that we're talking about here? And another thing to keep in mind is with this COVID-19 virus, uh, there's no telling when you can start camp up, when you can start these guys practicing and getting ready for the season. And that's got to be a concerning factor right there in itself. Antoine Cates, we're young and inexperienced, but thank God the front seven is good, so it works out. Still brewing and selling 32-ounce growlers curbside, staying safe and distance. Man, I like that, man. You have to tell me about this beer. I'm always down to talk about beer, and I mean that's just a subject I love. I think with Brady moving the ball and not being on the field 70% of the time, the defense is going to play fresh and at an extra level. Yeah, that's going to be again. This is a new team. This is like a new team. Well, I would say offensively, this will be a new team. So I'm curious to see what they do. They made the moves they needed to in the offseason. I really would have loved to have seen a veteran in the secondary somewhere, and it didn't have to be a Pro Bowler, just a veteran presence in that secondary. I think, and I've talked about this before in previous podcasts. You go back to 2010, and you think about all the leadership that the Buccaneers didn't have. And I believe that, with a few veterans in certain positions, I think the Bucs could have gone to the playoffs in 2010. But, who knows? Do you think the Juice Man stats will go up this season? Yeah, I'm thinking everybody's going to look good. I think people will be held accountable. And I mentioned this on Thursday as a hot take. Watch out for Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones is a very underrated pass catcher, and I believe that he's really going to show what he can do. As for these tight ends, you talked about OJ Howard, you talk about Cameron Brate, and if they're both on this team, when the season starts, I can tell you right now they're going to get utilized. We didn't see them utilized because that's kind of how the scheme doesn't really favor a tight end. A tight end has to be more physical. A tight end has to be able to block. And we saw OJ doing a lot of blocking, but I feel like, if they can get that chemistry together, OJ Howard and Tom Brady, I think that he will definitely be an asset for this team. So that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to see exactly what they do and how all that all works out. So it's going to be fun to watch. It really is. So, keep your eyes open, and let's get ready to see what they can do here. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. And bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to get this chat up because I really want to get you guys' chats on the screen here. And you know how technology works for us. It works when it's supposed to, and it doesn't work when in other times. So let's see here. It's not letting me do it. All right. Well, I will work on that and see if I can get that at some point fixed. But this is gonna be a good season. Looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it. Other than that, give me a second here. I'm trying to get this chat because that would be so cool to. And let's see here. Log in. All right, it's something I'll get this working at some point. I will get this working and see if I can get this fixed. Let's see here. Let's see. But again, this is gonna be a fun season. I think if we can get this season going, I definitely think that this will be one that we'll see a little bit more competitiveness, it will definitely be better than what we have been seeing in the past. Yeah, this isn't letting me log in here to YouTube. So, YouTube. Yep. All right. Oh well, I tried. I tried really hard to get everybody on here, but I'll fix that. I'll have to fix that later on. There we go. So, anyway, let me get back here, and I'm sorry I got away from the chat here. Let me get back in the chat and see what's going on here. Young and experienced, still brewing at 32. Okay. I'm also a little nervous about Donovan Smith. I'm still pissed we gave him that big contract and his ass got worked last season. I'm gonna say this, and Will the Brewer, I'm gonna answer your question next because that's a really good question. Antoine, I really do believe there was nobody else available at the time that at the time that the Bucks were trying to get that offensive lineman. There wasn't anybody at the time. There was nobody better in free agency, and I think you were kind of forced to deal with who was available, and I think that's where. And I think that's why the Bucks ended up giving out that contract. And we've seen this over the past couple of seasons where players are their salaries are inflated compared to what they have been. So that's kind of where we are with that. And yeah, that's just kind of what it is right there. As far as Ronald Jones goes, I think he had 2 drops his rookie season. Did Rojo have some drops rookie year that got him in bad habits? No, actually, he didn't. He only had 2 drops, and he's pretty much been close to. Let's see, like right now he's got 40 targets and 31 receptions. And I thought that was pretty good for him. I just don't feel like they really utilized him like they could have. But I think it could have been the situation that at the time, you need somebody out there to protect your quarterback so you can throw the ball down the field. So I think it just may have been, just the scenario that was going on. But I can tell you right now that I trust his hands just based on what I've seen from him. And I don't really think they've gone to him enough with it. So I feel like he'll be just fine. I think he's going to have a really good season, especially catching the ball. I'm looking forward to the speed in space. That's the one thing about Ronald Jones that I love. And I don't think they've really committed to him yet. I think they've brought him along slowly. I mean, not by design, but he's come along slowly. And in the offseason, the one thing I love about him, and this is why I'm happy that he's a Buccaneer, is he's continuously worked on his craft to get better. In the offseason, he's gotten bigger. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures of him floating around on Twitter. This guy's jacked, man. I mean, he's physically, he's a guy, I'm not going to try to tackle him. I am pretty sure I would just like do the Matador Olay thing and just let him run on by me. That would probably be my thing. So, that again, and I've talked about it. He's like number 1, number 2 of the players that I'm actually looking forward to seeing this season. Ronald Jones and Shaquille Barrett are the 2 players that I can't wait to see there. Go low and end up with a concussion. Yeah, Will. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm going to make that business decision and he can run on past me. That guy is, I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm good with that. But he's one of those players that I'm actually looking forward to seeing. What about you guys? Is there anybody out there that you guys are looking forward to seeing? Any players that pop into your head that are like, man, I can't wait to see this guy. I want to see what he can do. And Will, what kind of beer are you brewing, man? Tell me. Yeah, I'd love to know about this beer. I'm sorry, I've just kind of got off the subject a little bit, but always interested in hearing about beer. If you follow me on Twitter, I love talking about beer. And it's like one of my favorite subjects. So let's see. Let me get back in the chat here. Okay, here we go. Devin White and Levante David. It's really interesting. Have you guys noticed? I'm going to stick with where I've been. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to the Bucks on ESPN, on NFL Network, on CBS or Fox, and I'll probably continue on that path. And I try just kind of get the information secondhand. I will stick with the local writers and local podcasts to get information about the Bucks. But I'm noticing that Levante David's name is getting mentioned a lot. I'm on Twitter, and you'll see retweets of linebackers that are underrated and stuff like that. And I've heard Levante David's name mentioned several times. Mr. Goldfish, what's happening, man? Heard about Clay Matthews' long shot, but a good player. Don't know about the money, but Devin White is going to be a monster. He's a beast. Yeah, he is. He really is. And again, if I can take this moment, I wasn't thrilled with the pick last year. I wanted him to go on the defensive line. The defensive line more than surprised me, and Devin White picked up where he left off. I mean, I didn't even think about Quan Alexander till the season was over, really. So, oh yeah, and let's talk about these jerseys. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't get a chance to talk about it on Thursday. Who's getting jerseys? And I'm sure everybody's getting pewter or red. I can see pewter or red. Maybe white too, but I love these jerseys. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Nike have redeemed themselves, and I'm really excited to actually get. When I get the stimulus check, I'm getting me a jersey. I don't care if it doesn't come till September. I'm gonna get one just because I like them. And that brings up another question for the chat, and I just want to kind of get your thoughts on this. How do you feel about people wearing jerseys, or whether it's NFL, whether it's the NHL or baseball? I own a lot of jerseys. I always have. That's just been who I am. I own jerseys. And I mean, I've got everything from throwback Doug Williams to Michael Pittman to Derek Brooks to John Lynch. I've got all these different jerseys, and I'm good with that. And I was on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, right before the announcement of the jerseys, and somebody was like, well, grown men shouldn't wear jerseys. And, that's a matter of opinion. But I feel like the NFL makes these jerseys for people. Why not wear them? Why not go out and buy them? Spend your hard-earned money to support a team that you love. I don't see any problem with that. And so to me, and you'll see me from time to time, I wear jerseys. And, I probably will be a 99-year-old man wearing a jersey because, I'm supporting my team. And so, again, that's just kind of where we are. Jeremy Valencia, what's going on, my friend? Red will always be my favorite because we won the Super Bowl in the red. You know what? That is a great point. That is a really good point as to, why you would want to pick that color. So to me, I love the pewter. The pewter is out of this world. I think they really, with the number selection that they have, I love these jerseys. And I can tell you right now, I will own one of these jerseys. And probably if I had to say a jersey that I would get without question would probably be Mike Evans. And what Mike Evans has meant to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since his rookie season up until now is, hey, you know what? We're all friends here. Don't worry about the typos. I typo all the time. You'll probably see me typo something here shortly, but don't worry about that. It's all good. Mike Evans would probably be the jersey I would purchase, would be Mike Evans. Mike Evans pewter would be ideal. Probably second, I don't know. I would probably go Devin White, maybe. I would probably get a Devin White jersey if let's say that the Mike Evans jersey was off the table, I couldn't get it. I'd probably go Devin White. I actually like this guy, and you know, once I've seen his work ethic, once I've seen what he does, what he means to the locker room, once I've seen some of the other things that he's done, some of the intangibles, I like him more and more. And again, here's another guy, and I haven't mentioned him, but he's got a year of the NFL under his belt. And what he was able to come back and do from when he came back from injury and started playing, it should make you excited. It should definitely make you excited to see him on the field. So here's another guy that I'm really looking forward to seeing as well. So it's going to be great. Is anybody getting a Tom Brady jersey? That would be my next question. Is Tom Brady on the list of jerseys? You guys are diehard fans. You guys have been Bucs fans, and we've dealt with futility for over a decade, and the winning hasn't always been there. But you guys are all dedicated. You guys are here. I mean, you guys are active on Twitter. I see people active on Facebook, and that's important. I think that right there, says a lot about fandom with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, I love it. I think it's great. I think this is a good change for everybody. If the Bucs can start winning, that's going to be huge. It's going to be really huge. I mean, the Bucs have been competitive in split games within the division, but, it hasn't been much more than that. And I would really like to see this team go in there and really start doing something this year. These are my expectations. This is what I'm looking forward to, is seeing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do more than what they have been doing. And with the pieces they have in now and the people they've brought back, it's going to be really good to see, this team, the defensive line, staying together as much as possible. And, possibly, oh, here we go. Matt Gay, no, that's not happening. No. You really can't. No. I don't see getting a kicker, punter, no, you can't. No, that's all right. But anyway, nope on Will the Brewer, nope on Brazy. For whatever reason, all my Bucs jerseys are defense. Hardy Nickerson, the multiple colors of Lynch, and Levante David. Yeah, I would get a Levante. I could see myself with a Levante David jersey too. Again, here's a guy that has meant so much to this team, and he's played with the Bucs. He's played at a high level for a long period of time. He's a player that deserves to go to the playoffs. I want him to go to the playoffs as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. It would mean a lot to see that happen. So here's another guy I would love to see. Mr. Goldfish, kind of getting back to your thing about Clay Matthews, I wouldn't have a problem with that if these players are brought in and give this team a better chance to win. That's what you want. That's what you need to see. You want consistency, and you want balance on both sides of the ball, and you want 4 quarters of football. That's going to be huge this year too. The defense has to be able to hold up their end of the bargain. And the Buccaneers have to be able to execute and go out there and make plays and drive the ball down the field. So it's going to be fun to watch this. It's going to be interesting to see how Tom Brady operates under center and, dissecting these defenses and just seeing what he's capable of doing. That's probably one of the more exciting things to me, because when I've watched Tom Brady, and if you go back and watch game film of Tom Brady, just what he's able to do at the line of scrimmage is just like, it's magic to watch him at the line of scrimmage and, pre-snap reads, and it just watching him do that is incredible. So definitely looking forward to that as well. And let's see. T. Smitty 2000. Yeah, well, and a good thing, Shooty Shoots isn't on here trolling or anything like that. So any other news, any other Bucs news that I may have missed or I'm not talking about or I should be talking about right now? We're real close to the draft, and I'd like to get you guys to put your draft picks down there in the chat. Who are you expecting the Bucks to draft with that number 14 pick? Or do you see them trading down? Or do you see them trading up? That's anything's a possibility with Jason Light. And what I know we heard about the secondary, we heard about safety. What other positions could you see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going at to actually get some players in here? Any offensive linemen? Anybody specifically that you're looking at? Maybe the O lineman from Alabama. There's a bunch. There have been a bunch of names that I've seen, and I really, this is what I would really like, Will, and you bring up an interesting point, and I've talked about this last year because I was totally frustrated. The Bucks have not consistently addressed the offensive and defensive lines. They've gone here and there. They've thrown picks at it, but they've never really 100% addressed the offensive line on a consistent basis. And when they have, it's like, they're missing on talent evaluation. In the second round, there are pass rushers in Marlon Davidson and Terrell Lewis who will be there. You think so? You think Marlon Davidson will be there? I don't know. I could see him going to Atlanta, or I could possibly Atlanta, or maybe even Carolina. I could see that happening. I don't know. I tell you what, Frank. I was you put the cart before the horse here. We're actually going to do that. I'm going to have Evan Winter from Bucks Nation back on, and we are going to do pros and cons on the offensive line this week. And please look out for that show. I am going to have EMT Ashley from All Things Bucks on with me on Monday, and we're going to talk about her podcast, Talk to Plank. She knows football like she doesn't get credit for what she knows about football. And, she's going to be on, and we're going to definitely be talking about that. Could they bump Kappa to right tackle? I don't know. I thought he did a great job where he's at. I think you can build around this offensive line. I know that right guard is like gold, finding a good right guard. And then, you talk about moving Kappa over to right tackle. I think it would all have to depend on who they drafted. I think if they drafted the right person, I could potentially see that. But right now, I don't know. I would almost wait and see who they draft before even considering that. Hey, Jeremy Valencia, you are absolutely right. I was just talking about that a little bit earlier. Lavonte David is going to get the recognition he's always deserved. I think he's kind of played in the shadow of Luke Kuechly. I think that's a huge part of it. And I don't think, with the team and you only see individual players, excelling, I think that's kind of hurt him as well. I think that if the Bucks were winning, I think that would have helped his stock a whole lot more with people, paying attention and seeing what he's capable of doing. So let's see here. It looks like I'm dropping frames, so bear with me, guys. Internet's fluctuating right now for some reason, but it should come back up here in just a moment. And yeah, here we go. I think we're good. But getting back to we're good. We're back to where we're supposed to be. Yeah, and Lavonte David, he's always been a good player, and it's just a shame that he hasn't gotten the credit that he's deserved. But yeah, and I notice we've got more listeners in here, so you're always welcome to jump in the chat. If you guys are following me on Twitter, oh yeah, the Jameis Winston, David Carr Twitter war, yeah, I saw that. If you guys are interested, if you're following me on Twitter, hit me up on DM. I'll shoot you the link, and you can jump on here with me if you'd like, if you're interested in doing that. That's always been an option, always will be an option. That's what I like about my show is I'm able to do that. Just if you want to get on here and talk a little bit, chat. I know it's not a whole lot going on Saturday. We're all pretty much indoors, so if you are following me right now, hit me up. I'll shoot you the link, and you can jump on here with me. I'm just sorry. I'm just looking through Twitter. Yeah, kind of going back to what you were talking about with Jameis Winston and David Carr. Uh, David Carr wasn't good. He wasn't good, and I don't even know why he even bothered to even make that comment. If this is what's working for Jameis Winston, if this is what he's doing to get better, if this is what he's doing to stay sharp, I mean, hey, that's on him. That's what he's doing. Right now he's not on a team. And he's trying to work to where he can get on a team. So, that's kind of where we are. For me, it's David Carr. I mean, if it were somebody like Dan Marino or Joe Montana or somebody like that, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I feel you. I understand what you're saying, but it's David fucking Carr, and that's no, me personally, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And that's would have been the end of it for me for him. But anyway, yeah, I'm just sorry. So I know we were talking about the Tom Brady. What do you think about this Tampa Bay, where Tom has changed the name from Tampa Bay to Tampa Bay? I think it's stupid. Tampa is Tampa. Tampa is since I was born till where we are right now is always going to be Tampa. And a guy that's only going to be here for 2 years can't come in and just change all that to me. Now, if he goes in and wins a Super Bowl this year, we could revisit this at the end of the season and we can reconvene on this. But as of right now, you haven't thrown a pass. You haven't thrown a pass in a Buccaneer uniform. I'm not seeing it. So there's that. But anyway, so yeah, I know a lot of guys have got me included in their different. So the one name that keeps popping up to me is, and I'm just looking through here. What do you guys think about Jedrick Wills? Jedrick Wills is a guy that I've been looking at him. He's somebody that I think his skill set translates to the NFL. I think you could plug him right in and you would be able to utilize him right away. So he would definitely be an upgrade on this offensive line. And as I've mentioned since day one, when we first talked about Tom Brady being here, you got to keep Tom Brady upright. That's huge. That's going to be the difference between this team being successful and this team being a disappointment this year. And again, I mean, just where my expectations are is this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team has to go to the playoffs. That's where I am. I'm not talking about anything other. I'm not talking about going 500. I'm talking about the Buccaneers going to the playoffs. T. Smitty, 3000. I'm a Bama fan and he's legit. He's physical and he's a road grader. So would he and T. Smitty, I'm going to ask you this. Is this an offensive lineman that you would help the Bucs with the running game? Is he a guy that's going to open up holes? Is he going to be able to seal these blocks? And is this a guy that you would want on your offensive line if you were building a team and you had one player that you could get from the draft? Would Jedrick Wills be that guy for you? And yeah, Will the Brewer, I don't blame you. Yeah, it is kind of lame. So yeah, again, guys, if you are interested in coming on and chatting a little bit, I can get you on live with me here. It's never too late. It can happen. Yeah, because Bama. Okay, that's what I'm talking. I love hearing stuff like that. I think that's gonna be, That could be a difference maker right there. Trending news. Yeah, bear with me one moment here. I'm actually trying to get Twitter up. Yeah. So it looks like everybody's content with just being in the chat. So that's good. Just again, keep in mind that you're always welcome to jump on here with me. Hit me up on Twitter. Just DM me, hey Gene, I want to come on with you tonight or whatever, and I'll get you on. I'll make sure you guys get on and get to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So it's gonna be interesting. And it's interesting. I'm actually on Twitter. I'm sorry, I was just reading a tweet from EJ Varner. He said around this time the Bucks had some decent talent on defense outside the vets, but never became elite. Do you guys think that this Buccaneers team, if they could play together as a unit, they could be successful, and you really don't need those a whole bunch of standout players, but you just need everybody to stay healthy and everybody to play as a unit? Do you think that this defense could be successful? I mean, just throughout the whole season? All right. And I'll let you guys. I don't know what's going on with my internet. Internet's dropping. It's dropping frames like crazy. All right. But anyway. YouTube is not. So something's wrong with my video. But anyway, I'll get this fixed here in just a moment. The way they finished up, yeah, you know what? That's a great point. But you lost Carl Nassib. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You lost Carl Nassib, and Bo Allen's no longer with the team, and they haven't really found anybody to replace them. Is that where you're going to the draft? Are you going to get that next guy to come in and play? Is that guy coming out of the draft? Is that what we're looking at right now? That would probably, I guess, with the salary cap the way it is, that would probably be the best way to do this, would be to address this through the draft. And again, I've talked about this as well. What does that mean for the next? What does that mean after Tom Brady's gone? I mean, do you draft your quarterback next year and have your quarterback sitting behind Tom Brady ready to go at the end of the season, or what are we looking at here? What works best? What's going to happen here in your opinion? All right. So Will the Brewer and Frank G believe that Nelson will be there this season? So that could be. I'm wondering, is that part of the reason that Nassib was able to go to the Raiders? T. Smitty, if Tua's there at 14, the Bucks might have a tough decision to make. T. Smitty, curiously, I'm going to ask you about this, and this has nothing to do with what that idiot Michael Lombardi said about Tua, because I saw his pro day, and I was impressed just watching the video from his pro day. But is Tua injury prone? Is this something to be concerned about? Is him being able to stay on the field, or is that something that I'm overhyping and really not? I shouldn't be worried about. Just as an Alabama fan, what do you see? I mean, as far as he's concerned, is he a guy that really doesn't have durability issues, or are there durability issues? Kevin Myers, we should draft a quarterback because Brady could get injured. It would be our luck. Yeah, I mean, like right now, the Bucks have 3 quarterbacks in camp right now, or on the roster right now. When you consider Tom Brady, goodness help me out here, Blaine Gabbert, and Tom Brady, Blaine Gabbert, and I keep forgetting this guy's name. He's like he's like an MVP in preseason, and he hasn't really ever got to play. But you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, Ryan, Ryan Griffin. Thank you. Justin Holzholder, how you doing? Jordan Holzholder, how you doing? Uh, it's going to be hit and miss. Again, with the quarterback, talent evaluation is going to be important this year. We talked about this on Thursday as well. To me, right now, with where the Bucs have been, this is the best opportunity. If they can actually get in there and do well in the draft, I think that this will be definitely a competitive team. The ankle surgeries were done to get him back on the field faster. Deshaun Watson tore his ACL twice, and Wentz is always hurt. Wentz got paid, and Watson's going to break the bank. No, and again, I'm not questioning ability or anything like that. I was just asking, as far as Tua goes, is he? It's not really. Is it an issue? Worried about durability when it comes to a player like a Tua, or is it one of those things where it's just mishaps and nothing to really worry about? He's going to go out there and he's going to be just fine. And again, I haven't really followed Alabama all too much. I get to watch them every so often, but when I have seen them, they look good. And I thought Tua looked good right up until the time he was injured. So he's going to be one of those players. And if you, T. Smitty 3000, have Tua on your draft board and he falls in place at number 14, do you pick him? Or do you get an offensive tackle? And I'm asking you as a general manager, if you were a general manager, would you pick Tua or would you take an offensive lineman at number 14 if both were available to you? Frank G is saying offensive tackle. I guess they brought Blaine Gabbert back because he knows the offense. He's very familiar with the offense. I've never liked Blaine Gabbert. I think he's trash, to be honest. And I don't even know what else to say about it. But I don't think he's a good quarterback. I really don't. I just don't. But that's who the organization's going with. That's who they have. That's their number 2 quarterback is this guy. And we'll just kind of have to see what happens at this point. To me, I would love to see exactly. Blaine Gabbert's familiar with the offense, and that's why you bring him in. Familiarity, and makes it easier if something were to happen. God forbid. Knock on Formica here. If anything were to happen, that's the guy that's going in. Kevin Myers, the running back. We need a run game for Brady. I think that will be addressed in the draft. It has to be an upgrade over Peyton Barber. I am not taking anything away from Peyton Barber, but you need another change of pace back from a Ronald Jones. You need that Ingram type running back that's gonna be a bruiser and can punish a defensive line, and that's kind of what you need. I think Ronald Jones is going to have a breakout year. Dare, I'm not sure how Dare is going to do, but as Jordan had mentioned, the running back class in this draft is going to be incredible. I think you may even be able to get a player to replace him just as an undrafted free agent. That could potentially happen. So that's something to keep in mind. Just Dare is there because he can block and he's supposed to have nice hands. Ronald Jones is a guy that I really wish that they could have got more use out of him. But I'm going to say this. Again, he's the guy to watch for out of the running backs this year. because I think that once if they can fix that offensive line, and you've got Tom Brady, I think there will be opportunities for him to make big plays. So Ronald Jones is a guy I'm looking forward to watching. T. Smitty 3000. I would take Tua because this team will be too good to be in a position to draft a quarterback high. Plus, missing on it doesn't kill you financially, like in the Jamarcus Russell days. I think what works best, regardless of when, if it's next year or if it's this year, if you can get a quarterback that you have very limited expectations on, that can sit behind a starter and learn, hold the clipboard, understand the offense, get to play in it at times. If you've got that, I think you've got somebody that will be ready to step in unless they go free agency, unless they've, turned the team over and started over from scratch. God forbid that ever happens. But I think it's either this year or next year. You have to get you have to be looking at a quarterback in the draft. Shooter and the stash. What's happening? Hot Take City. You got it. I already talked about Ronald Jones. You missed that already, but glad you're here. One of the best animation guys in Tampa. Shooter and the stash. Winston made our line look worse. Brady makes quick throws. Guarantee our line will look better even if we don't make additions. Kevin, it's gonna be this is what I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to see those because everything you said. Brady makes quick decisions. I mean, he's at the line and there we go. Will the Brewer. Let me go ahead and I don't know why does YouTube stop people from adding profanity to my chat? Maybe I want profanity in the chat. It's our God-given right to use profanity if we feel like we need to. So I feel like you should be able to say. And it's kind of getting back to what we were talking about here. Hey, Ken F, what's going on, my friend? I just think that Tom Brady. That's what I want to see. I want to see Tom Brady. I want to see him make those quick reads. I want to see him get the ball out, because it's crazy to watch him at the line, and he makes his adjustments, and then he runs the play, and the play is off. It's not a matter of seconds. That play is off and it's done. Matthew Kitchell, what's happening? And I think that's what I'm, from as far as quarterback play goes, that's what I'm looking forward to. And what we're talking about right now is, wow, he said I'm the Josh Freeman of Buck shows. Yeah, I can't wait until you do a live show. I will be there. I'm bringing friends with me to whatever live show you do next. Shooty Shoots. Just remember that, Buster. But Tom Brady's our quarterback, and it's I love the idea that you got a quarterback that can make those snap decisions. He can look at the defense and say, okay, this is what we're getting ready to do. And I've said this before. It's like having that offensive coordinator on the field. I look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was the same way. I mean, he had lost when they won that Super Bowl, the Super Bowl before he retired. It was like this guy, just the decisions he could make. He could look at a defense and he knew what to do. That's what I'm seeing from Tom Brady, and those are the things that I'm expecting to see. Pinpoint passes, putting the ball where only the receiver can get it. Just little things like that. But I think the decision making is going to be very important. That along with the run. Shooter is the Sean King. No, he's Shooter is more like Trent Dilfer, or maybe Jeff Garcia. No, Jeff Garcia. No, maybe Ryan Tannehill. Shooty Shoots is the Ryan Tannehill but no, hold on. I'm thinking here. I'm working on this. McCown. Shooty Shoots is the McCown of Buck shows, if we had to say that. And again, I'm not, because, Winston's no longer here. The only reason I'm bringing up Tom Brady, that's our quarterback, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do reading defenses and stuff like that. Winston, he was so polarizing. I just, he's gone, and we've moved on, and you've got another quarterback in house right now. So, we were talking about Blaine Gabbert. And we've talked about Blaine Gabbert enough. What scares me about this is Blaine Gabbert could be a starting quarterback at some point. That scares me. The crazy thing is that they try to give Winston those quick short throws to get him into a rhythm early, but it's too predictable. How many pick sixes or sevens? Yeah. Well, guys, and I will say this, because this is Tom Brady is the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Jameis Winston is not at this point. That's kind of where I am with all this. Just like I was with Gerald McCoy, same way here. It's he was here. It didn't work out, and they moved on, and that's kind of we are looking at new uniforms. You got a new quarterback. You got you're looking at things a totally different way now. And you're looking at a quarterback that, he can make those throws. He's a proven winning quarterback. Oh, McCoy to the Cowboys. There you go. Yeah, well, whatever works for him. I'll be disappointed if Gerald McCoy goes to the Ring of Honor before a James Wilder or a Ricky Bell or, some of these other players, Kevin House, Scott Brantley. I would really be disappointed if he went to the Ring of Honor before any of those guys. And that's just my personal opinion. But I know he talks about wanting to retire a Buck. I could care less. I really don't care. And that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, he's not helping his team win anything right now, so I don't care. And when the time comes, that will be an interesting discussion. But as far as I'm concerned right now, Gerald McCoy's not a Buck. And I really could care less. Rex, what's going on? Just kind of getting back to this. Just kind of getting back to some of these questions. What about the number 3 receiver? What are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to do with that number 3 receiver? How are they going to address that? I mean, what do you guys think? That's been one of those things that I've been kind of talking about that too. Because I really believe that right now the Bucks, it's such a steep drop off from Mike Evans to Chris Godwin, and then you got to consider your number 3 receiver. That makes me nervous. I think that you should have people that are competing for that position, but I think there's such a steep drop off talent wise from number 1 and from number 2 to number 3. It just kind of is concerning right now. So we'll see. Seaborn, how about Bucks fans give Jason Light some credit? He made up for his past bad picks in free agency. It's going to be interesting. I always believe, like with your general manager, you look at their body of work and in the time that they've been in an organization, and it'll be interesting to see what, when you look at all the hits that Jason Light has versus all the misses. And I think a lot of this has to translate into wins and losses. I try not to do that because I think it's unfair when you do that to a quarterback and say a quarterback, their wins and losses, everything falls on the quarterback. I try not to do that to the general manager either, but the general manager is responsible for the level of talent that gets put on the field. last year's draft, last year's free agency was amazing. And I often wonder, and think about this, I often wonder if Bruce Arians had a bigger part in the talent evaluation last year that we saw, because that was a rock solid draft, and that was a rock solid free agency that we saw. So I don't know. Buccaneer Bruce, what's happening? Round 3. Matthew Kitchell says round 3 for a wide receiver. Yeah. Any chance Randy Moss comes back to play with Brady again? Shooty shoots with the questions here. No. Seaborn, yeah, again, just kind of getting back to your question, when you're talking about Jason Light, I could tell you firsthand, I've caught so much grief because I haven't really gone at Jason Light for some of the moves that he's made, because I want to ultimately see, what his legacy is going to be. Like, we can look at Mark Dominic. We can look at Bruce Allen. We can compare Mark Dominic and Bruce Allen because of their bodies of work and what the end result was from their time in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. To me, I think that Jason Light's legacy is still being written. I think getting a Bruce Arians in here, being able to get Tom Brady to come over to Tampa, grabbing a Mike Evans, a Chris Godwin, Adam Humphries, who's gone on to make more money, Quan Alexander, draft pick that was under the Jason Light umbrella as well. And I don't know, just players like that have gone on to do other things in other organizations. I know it doesn't help our organization, but it does show that, he did see the potential in these players, and that's why he pulled the trigger on the moves that he did. There were players, and I talked about this on Thursday, if you guys haven't gotten a chance to see it, there have been players that have been drafted for the Buccaneers that had the physical tools. Roberto Aguayo had the physical tools. He didn't have it from the neck up. Mentally, he wasn't that guy. And that's why moves like that didn't pan out like they should have. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, physical tools. He should have been a monster tight end. Didn't have it from the neck up. And hence he was not able to transition and be that guy. Buccaneer Bruce, that's hilarious. That's what my girlfriend says about me. But getting back to this, yeah, and you make a great point. He finds undrafted free agents. Cameron, being able to get Cameron Brate in here, and Cameron Brate playing as good as he has, is a testament to Jason Light bringing a guy like that in, or evaluating talent and seeing that. So, again, I think he's going to be just fine. I want to reserve the right to give final judgment after he's gone from being a Buck. I mean, like right now, he's gotten a lot more done than Mark Dominic did. He's gotten a lot more done than Jason Light had, or not Jason Light, but Bruce Allen has. And and it's no secret, my all-time favorite general manager is, of course, Rich McKay, who should be already in the Ring of Honor. I understand that being in Atlanta, in a division rivals organization kind of keeps you from that. But just what Rich McKay meant to that Super Bowl team, I have to say that that's a guy that should be in the Buccaneers Ring of Honor for what he's done. Just considering all the Hall of Famers that have, and potential Hall of Famers that have rolled through, due to him bringing them in. So he can also. So I'm looking through here. Remember Randy Moss through joining a police officer. He does bring up, Shooty Shoots does bring up some stuff there, I tell you. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And I know I keep saying that. I want to see what they do in the draft. I think it's a shame. And again, I hope everybody's staying safe. Everybody's staying indoors. You know, social distancing is very important right now, and it's just one of those things. I hope that everybody is. And after saying that, I would like to say that we're in uncharted waters. We're going to have a very interesting draft where it's going to be a virtual draft, I guess, is what we're looking at. I was tagged in a picture of our senior year of high school football, and she said you were the slow one with the too big of the shoulder pads. I told her I was the second fastest player on the team. So I'm actually gonna do a podcast. I want to get some listeners on when we do the draft. I would love for you guys if you like I said, yeah, and Ken F. We were talking about Anthony Nelson earlier with the departure of why am I drawing a blank? What's wrong with me today? I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been in the house too long, probably. But and he just went to the Raiders. Goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Help me out here. Anthony Nelson will step up. Anthony Nelson, Carl Nassib. Thank you, Buccaneer Bruce. Carl Nassib's departure to the Raiders. I think Anthony Nelson has to step up. He does. I think that he's gotten past the injuries and stuff, and I think it's going to be good. I think he'll be just fine. This is a very user-friendly defense from what I'm seeing. The one thing that gives me hope is how everybody bought into this defense on the back end of the season, and it's just it worked out great. And I'm hoping that this defense can pick up where they left off, right where they left off, and not start off slow. That's one of those things that I will be looking forward to seeing from this draft, and hopefully, we will get to see that. So it's definitely something. Yeah, Shooty Shoots. I will live stream during the draft. I definitely will. I am unsure. I'm unsure who's going to be on. As I was saying before I cut myself off, if you're following me on Twitter, hit me up on Twitter. If you guys want to come on, I would love to have a majority listener show and just talking about the draft. I think that would be fun. I think it would be cool to get you guys' ideas. And yeah, it'll be fun. And on the fifth replacement drag. No, you're actually at the top of the list, Shoots. So just think about that. And it really hurts my feelings that you would say you're the fifth replacement, because you're not there. You're higher than that. Will the Brewer, we've said that about defense in the years past. I think the big difference is you've got Bruce Arians, you've got Todd Bowles. I think with the coaching staff and the scouting staff, you could tell a big difference from this year to previous years. I think when I don't know. That's kind of how I look at it, and I've thought a lot about that. I know that Evan Winter of Bucks Nation, one of the writers for Bucks Nation, was on with me. He's been coming on here the past few weeks, and he made that point. So to me, that's kind of where I'm at. I think that there's a lot more as far as talent evaluation goes, and I think they're leaning. I think the GM, who does have the final say, I think he's been leaning more on the coaches and the scouts here, and in making these decisions. And I do expect another solid draft from this organization, only because of the level of talent that we're going to see coming out of the draft this year. So I think that everything's going to be just fine, to be honest. And guys, believe it or not, it's crazy. I've been on here for a whole hour, which is shocking for me. But this is great. I love talking football. I love being able to talk about this stuff, and it's great to get your points of view on everything. So I'm just excited about this, and I want to thank everybody for stopping in and listening. And I'm hoping that somebody will take me up. Some of you guys will take me up on this, and we will be able to have some people on the draft to talk about this. But anyway, that's pretty much it for me, and I am going to jump off of here now. But please, any thoughts that you may have, as far as the draft goes, let me know. And I will see you guys on Monday when I'll be on with Ashley, EMT Ashley from All Things Bucks.